This chapter is on anger in the workplace. Perhaps it may seem like a redundancy, considering we've already talked about bullying in the workplace environment, sexual harassment in the workplace environment. However, it does merit its own conversation because it deals more with the social aspects, not necessarily acting out on those social aspects, but basically what an angry work environment leads to and how it degrades the overall professionalism of the workplace. So in this chapter, we're going to define anger and the various expressions of anger specific to the workplace, learn the consequences of anger for individuals and its impact on a company, identify the causes, signs, and symptoms of workplace anger and violence, know steps for managing one's own anger and responding appropriately to the anger of others, developing strategies for preventing workplace anger, and then ultimately understanding the value of anger management training for a business and its employees. We should all be so lucky to work in an environment where anger isn't periodically brought about, but the reality of that is workplaces are full of humans, and humans have emotions, and simple things like saying don't be angry or don't be sad, those are irrelevant comments, because anger, like sadness and greed and envy, those are all emotions. We have a feeling, maybe not greed, but anger and those things are emotions, and we don't really have control over the fact of whether we have an emotion or not, but we do have control over how we respond to those emotions, and anger is a very, very important one, especially in the workplace environment, because there are so many people that are there they come from different places, and they all respond to anger a little differently. We don't necessarily have personal relationships with these people outside the workplace. And so one of the comments in here that I really enjoyed, that I really think that brings it to the forefront, is that what causes those angers, and you'll see in this particular chapter here, it talks about the heightening of stress, fatigue, injustice. Those things will cause anger. And the other thing too that I've personally found in the workplace that causes people to be angry is when they don't feel like they have control over their work environment. Now, you don't necessarily have control over everything that you do in your work environment, but it is nice to have a voice and having an outlet to be able to speak to a supervisor or somebody or or a group in a meeting aspect, to be able to talk to your fellow employees or your employer about things that aren't necessarily working properly and how you can fix those. So there's a lot of things that you can do within that workplace environment to prevent that from getting out of hand. Anyway, it's a pretty large chapter. It's about 50 pages. But as with all of those, there is a test at the end and some quizzes along the way to kind of test your knowledge as you're